What's going on, guys? What's cracking? It is freezing cold in the garage here today, so I'm trying to stay bundled up. But today's parts day. You already saw from the title of this video. You can see what we're getting into. Let's just show you. So what we have here is, of course, the best of the best powerhouse racing. So there's a couple things we got here today. The biggest thing, the thing I'm most excited about is this beautiful billet water neck, guys. Check this thing out. Literally, it looks like artwork. I mean, just absolutely gorgeous. This thing just blows my mind how nice it is. I mean, look at the machining on it. It's just so nice. Now, the one thing you'll notice too, you can see they did the right thing too. I was curious if they did this or if I was gonna have to grind it off. So the one thing most people don't realize is your water neck and these holes here is actually where your bolts go for it to bolt this on. Those act as your ground for these two sensors that go on the bottom. So you have your actual temperature sensor, and then I forget what the other one is, like a sending sensor. I can't actually like 100% remember, but there's sensors there go into the neck itself, and these bolts act as a ground for those sensors, believe it or not. And if you would just have these anodized and just leave it like that and then bolt this up, you don't get a ground signal. I saw a couple years ago with the powder coated style water necks that most of us do, which is actually on your car currently. People were having issues like, hey, my sensors aren't reading what's going on. Turns out people were replacing sensors, doing all this work, just to find out that this was all covered in powder coat and wasn't working properly because it doesn't have a proper ground. So that's one thing, guys. If you ever have an issue with any of your sensors, make sure if you powder coat anything, make sure you grind down those areas. If you don't, those sensors right there will not work. One of the small things we got here is this little block-off plate, which I'll show you here shortly, but this is for the actual throttle cable area. This is for the block off because her car is going to be drive-by-wire. So no need to have that open area anymore. Plus this just looks trick. And I didn't get this in black because it goes in the body. I try to keep it silver or machined on the body because I don't want a random black piece on it. If you look at her engine bay, only time I put anything black is on the engine. Everything else is either silver or is like a rough machined surface like so. So I really like this, and I love that the PHR logo is machined into it. Just looks awesome. Again, this does come with the hardware too. And then lastly is the fuel line hangers. Now, I currently run these in my car, and these things are a lifesaver. Now, I personally did this, and I'm gonna explain why. So it has the cutouts for both your brake lines, and then the third one there on this right-hand side, that is actually for your vent that went back to the gas tank. I always remove that, and I just remove the line completely underneath the cars. So that's what that is for. And then you see here, I have three on the other side. You would think, well, there's a return and a feed line for your fuel system. Well, what I do is dual feed 8s, and then this is also designed to do a return of an 8, but I usually do is -6. But I do dual return or dual feeds in the single return because the reason for that is the outer one here, I actually use that for usually a battery line. In this case, I'm gonna use that for the ground line that I'm gonna run up to the engine on her car. On my car, I actually used it just for the power. I actually don't have the ground going to the block. On her car with this new ECU, I don't wanna take any chances, so I'm just gonna take the extra precaution and run a 0 gauge ground the whole way from the trunk, from the battery, the whole way to the front. But let's go ahead and put these on. The first we're gonna do is this little block off. One thing I need to is underhood light. Yes, I have very good lighting here, but once you put the hood on, it actually does block a lot. I need to, if someone can recommend one, I was looking to Milwaukee, but it's really expensive, guys. So I'm looking for an underhood light if anyone has the recommendations. I do have those batteries, but again, salty. So I'm trying to find something so I can see a little bit better under here. Also recommend getting these mats. These things are nice. The company makes them, it's called Gripty. They were kind enough to send me those, but I do use them a lot, especially when you have a nice painted engine bay. My car, I'll be honest, I never use them. I just kind of like Cold's cars. Throw them in the cow, throw them in the paint, who cares? But with the fresh new paint, yeah, I don't want to take any chances. So what we're doing is this little area right here is what we're blocking off. That is our cable hole. And you can see from the inside there, that hole goes straight inside right to your pedal. Well, I don't need that anymore. So what you do is you take this little block off here and it goes on top of it. So I'm gonna actually jump the screws out real quick, and it goes on like so. Just pops right over like that. And that's it. Pretty simple, right? So let's go ahead and throw this on, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. This one was pretty straightforward, guys. I mean, just look at it. Pretty darn straightforward. It looks good. Blocks it off. Again, the lighting here is not the greatest right now, but I just want to show you that. Yes, that little bump there on the top, it's like, it looks like a paint run. I was like, I actually thought it was a paint run there for a second. I looked at his car and I looked at mine. I'm not sure what that little bump is there above the throttle bracket, but his car has it. Actually, we can go over here and look. It's like this little weird, if you look here, see if I can get it up on the, see it right there? That little bump? His car has it too, and so does mine. I'm not sure what that's for or what they did at the factory to cause it, but it's there. Because I was like, is that a paint run? That looks weird, but it's not. Next up, what should we do next? Well, we can only do the water neck because I can't do the fuel lines for this car because I need the lift. And somebody's still using my lift, Colton Glunt. But no, seriously, I don't mind. The kid has done a lot for me. Next up is get his engine in. get this thing running and get this bitch back out of here so we can put this back up on the lift before the kids come, because I'm trying to get all this done before the kids come. So next what we're working on, guys, is the water neck. So I've always used a factory water neck. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with them, but I'm going to be doing AN lines thanks to Red Horse Racing. So I'm very thankful to them again, and thankful to Powerhouse Racing for all this stuff. I mean, this would not happen without these people. Like these companies are so kind and so generous. I can never express how grateful I am. I love this water neck. It is for sale. Some people gave me shit. I wanted $250 for it. It is, I found out now it's not discontinued, but the water neck is $200 new from Toyota. It's powder coated and the ports have been shaved. So if anyone wants it, shoot me a message. It does not come with the sensors. So if you do want the sensors, I can include that too, or we can work out a price deal. Just shoot me a message. There's nothing wrong with it. I just have that new one. Never even got water ran through it, so it's good to go. And yes, it is powder coated. Some people say, no, it's definitely painted. No, it's powder coated. I had it done. I was there. Some people's kids, but I digress. Let's get this off and let's put on the new shiny one. I wanted to say one more thing too before we install this. I am actually not going to use the hardware. There's another thing. Powerhouse Racing includes 2 stainless steel bolts, which I do like. I'm actually going to be using Bare Boost Performance studs. They are ever so slightly shorter. It's not going to be a problem just for the way I do it. And titanium's a lot stronger. I'm going to make sure these thread the whole way into the block, but all you need is 1 or 2 threads for titanium because the stuff is so strong. You don't need a whole lot of thread. So what I'm going to do is remove the 2 bolts that are on it now and put studs there. I'm not sure, can you even stud it? Yes, you can. You have to put on the water neck, then put the studs in, and then put these hex heads on. So we'll make it work. I'll show you guys here in a minute. Okay, guys, so now the neck is on. Look, now I already have a fitting on this too. So this is a Red Horse -20 fitting. This thing is gorgeous. Now this is a gloss anodized. This is more of a, we'll call it more of a raw, not raw, but a flat anodized or a satin anodized. I love this. And I did use the Bare Boost Performance titanium nuts and studs, and they did work. That's actually designed for the intake manifold, but it ended up working out really well for myself as it doesn't focus. So really like the way those look on there, because obviously I have Bare Boost Performance titanium studs on this side of the engine. So I kind of wanted to repeat that. And yes, this side of the engine, even after being hot tanked and stuff, that the aluminum just didn't come perfectly clean. Not a deal breaker, I guess, but it was a little annoying. And yes, too, this is cracked. I feel like every one I've ever bought, they're already cracked. And when I try to fix them, the minute you try and tighten them down, they just crack again. So I just kind of gave up on it and said, screw it, and it messed with it there. Now you can see how close it is. You can see down here, is very tight. So I might have to remove this to run the wiring down behind, just because the connectors aren't going to fit down through that small hole. But the wiring has enough room for play. I mean, I can put my finger down through it, but the connector heads are bigger. So I might have to pull this off just to put those connectors or swivel them down in there and then tighten it all up again. Not a big deal. But I wanted to have it tight because next up what I need to do is make me some -20 lines. Now to do this is going to be a little unique. So again, I've spoken about this a million times. I'm very lucky to have sponsors. Koyo Rad was kind enough to send me a radiator, and they're actually sending me an intercooler core. Now, they don't make end tanks, so I'm gonna have TJ Minnick make me custom end tanks. It is a 4-inch or 4.5-inch intercooler that we're gonna make custom end tanks, 3-inch in, 3-inch out. I might do a 3.5-inch out just because it'll be running a 3.5-inch intercooler or a 3.5-inch inlet intake manifold. What I plan on doing is running that fitting from here. We have to weld on a fitting to the Koyo Rad, and then down below, we're gonna use this Powerhouse Racing turn down neck to weld a fitting there, and then come over to the radiator again. To give you guys some indication of how big these fittings are, I have big hands, but good Lord. Like, look how big these fittings are. That's a -20 fitting. That is the weld on fitting there. These things are massive. Again, Red Horse was kind enough to send these. I've got 3 90-degree fittings and then 1 straight fitting for the bottom water neck, and then perspective of how big this hose is. Now, I've been told already this is not easy. This is not fun to do, so we'll see. I've been pretty much told this is damn near impossible to do. So I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna put it over here in the workbench and see if I can get this done without marking up the fittings. I am lucky enough that I do have a -20 aluminum wrench. If I did not have this, I would really have to tape up these fittings to make sure they didn't get messed up, because I would have to use like a regular crescent wrench, which isn't ideal. So luckily I have this. Now this is an old school one, so it's a little narrow. I've shown you guys before the Red Horse Racing ones. I think they go up to 16. See how much wider these are? So if I put them even side by side, put it like that. There we go. If I put them side by side here, you can see these are about 25% wider, which you don't think is a lot, but when you're trying to tighten down those aluminum fittings, you want as much girth there as you can, or as much width as you can get in there. So it makes it a little bit easier to tighten it down and not messing up the fitting itself. So we're just gonna go ahead and attempt this. I've got the bench set up over here. We'll see how this works. All right, now it's time to do what everyone's telling me can't be done, or if you do it, you always mark up the fittings. So we're about to find out. I'm a little nervous. So I've got the one female side in. If we look inside here, you can see the hose in there. Putting inside the fitting was easy. Now you'll see some blue tape. Why is there blue tape there? Well, as I'm installing this fitting, this needs to go in like this. This could possibly push the hose out. This blue tape is my indicator to see if I start to see excess black here, go, hey, this fitting's pushing that hose out. We don't want that. So I gotta take this back out, lube this up more. I am going to use AN lube. Where do I put it at? Oh, over here. I do use AN lube. Red Horse actually sells this too, but on hand, all I have is Earl's. And again, I'm going to use my -20 wrench here to install this. So guys, wish me luck. Having these little vice jaws here too are helpful. I'm gonna hold the hose from the back. As I install this too, I'm gonna start by cranking it by hand. And I'm just hoping to God that this truly works. All right, guys, I'm gonna put some lube on this bad boy here because I don't want to be having any damn problems. Anything I can do to make this easier, I am going to do, because I have no desire for this to cause me a headache. I'm not looking forward to this. Everyone pretty much told me this sucks, and I can already tell you to start with here, this is not going to be fun. Oh yeah, this is going to suck, I can tell already. Well, we'll see. There we go. Make sure it's going into the actual hose itself. I'm pushing on the hose from the back end, guys, as I twist this on. Wow, I haven't even put the wrench on yet. The hell? I'm actually surprised. No, get the hell out of here. If I get this done first try, I'm gonna shit my pants. This is fucking amazing. No way I'm gonna get this the first try. All right, that's where it's starting to get tight. So now, from the back here, I'm gonna have to hold this as I spin this on. All right, now I can start to feel some serious tension. All right, so guys, I'm starting to actually feel the tension now. I'm trying to be careful, so this might take me a little longer. I might have to turn this into it. God dang it, Ricky, bye-bye. My hose fell down here. This hose is literally huge. This is like, there's so many ways for you guys to make fun of everything I'm saying right now, so I'm just waiting down the comments to hear what you guys have to say. You know, playing with my hose, such a large hose. Oop, it's starting to spin on me now. Oh yeah, this is a fucking bitch. Woo, this is not easy. All right. This is a lot harder than I thought because the hose itself is spinning inside here now. So I literally got to put some serious oomph. All right, so it looks like I'm gonna have to make baby adjustments from here and just do it like I'm doing right now. Not try to spin it the whole way around and just push down on it. So far, the hose has not pushed out. It's a good sign. Damn, you gotta put some serious oomph behind this thing. Gosh darn it. Oh my God. Whew. This thing is no joke, boys and girls. I'm also really weak. Oh my God. I'm trying not to screw up my fittings either, so see how much further I can go. You don't want to push this in. Remember how I told you guys in another video, you don't want to go the whole way in on these things. You don't want to go crazy. How we looking here? Still good. So it looks like I can get another maybe 1 or 2 turns left in it. We'll see. I think this is the last one right here. Right there. I think we are good right there. Well, maybe one more. Yep, that's it right there. Yep. No more. That's all she wrote, boys and girls, but it went on the first try, but that's me recording the whole thing start to finish. It went on the first try, no issues. So I wanted to show you guys what's all said and done. Yes, the hose is already cut. I might or might not have already had it on the car and might have something else already here, but you'll see that in another video. But I already cut the hose down and give it a little bit of extra length so I can cut it down more if needed. Another boo-boo that I did make, I usually put tape on the end here. Don't make my mistake. So I'm gonna put electrical tape around this that keeps it from fraying like you see here when you cut it. But one thing I want to show you guys, putting that together, there is no marks on this. I didn't screw up at all, which is nice. Now you can see my greasy hands all over it and all that oil I did use now. I did use some brake cleaner to get it off, but it just needs cleaned up. I'm not worried about that. Once it's on the car, then I'll clean it good. But right now, I'm just happy I didn't mark up the fittings. That was proof, guys. You can do it yourself at the house. Yes, it takes some serious effort. If we come over here, this table here is on wheels. If you could see it moving back and forth, I had my foot in the bottom holding it because it kept wanting to tip the table over. I was putting some serious effort into it, and it was actually, that blue wrench I was using was actually starting to bend out. Like, so the mouth of it was starting to actually spread apart. So I need to probably buy a better wrench that has more meat on the actual tool. You have to use an aluminum wrench or it will scratch us. I don't want to use an adjustable. These fittings are like 55 bucks or 60 bucks a piece. So the last thing you want to do is destroy these. But guys, I just want to show you it can be done, and I'm super happy about it. So there's proof it can be done. I'm really happy with the way this is starting to turn out. I never thought I'd be doing AN lines like this. I always thought they were neat and trick, but you know, it takes time, money, and all that stuff. And I was like, I just always skipped it. So this is the first time I get to do it, and I'm beyond stoked. So guys, I hope this video was helpful. I wanted to go ahead and say thank you again to Powerhouse Racing. Thank you again to Red Horse. Again, I always say this, but without sponsors, I don't get to make these videos. After all these years, it's been 5 years now that I've been doing this, and I'm finally getting some of the help, and it means a lot to me. I don't know if these sponsors even watch this or if they care, if they just want me to make these videos, but it means a lot to me. Like, I'm going through like this weird feeling of like, is it euphoria or whatever you want to call it? Like, I'm just feeling, I am so grateful. Like, this sounds so like generic, I guess you would say, but like, I literally am. Like, I get up, I feel so blessed. I feel so lucky. And I don't say blessed because I'm not religious, but I am so happy. So guys, thank you very much for tuning in today. There's another video. I've edited 3 videos today. It's insane. So on to my 4th one now, because I got the video after this and it's sick.